Sushi, American Public University by Roger Rochester. Introduction. History and globalization of sushi. Influence and evolution. Development and diffusion. Sushi is a staple of Japanese culture. The unique delicacy has an interesting and remarkable background, originating in East Asia. The dish that was once used as a simple technique to preserve fish has now become a global commodity. In light of its worldly influence and evolution, which manifested over many decades, sushi is an intriguing food to research and enjoy. Sushi as we know it today originated in Japan. However, it has diffused globally with notable developments within the western parts of the globe, such as the U.S. Realm: East Asia. The origins of sushi developed in the East Asian realm. Included in the realms is China, Mongolia, Japan, North Korea, South Korea, and Taiwan. Although the ancient origins of sushi dates back to Chinese culture, the rudimentary idea of sushi as a food is a creation credited to Japanese culture. Region: originated in Japan, influenced by ancient China. Coastal region: Japanese rice fields. Interestingly, the origins of sushi dates back to 2nd century China. The ancient Chinese utilized a technique of preserving fish by filling it with salted rice, wrapping with leaves, and placing it into a barrel to ferment. This process would extend the shelf life, which would aid in storing food for later use. The Japanese coastal regions and inland landscapes provide access to an abundance of specific food sources. To explain, the landmass of Japan is surrounded by water. As a result, contains a lengthy coastline facilitating fish as a resource of food. Along with harvesting fish, Japan's cultivation of rice, also known as paddy agriculture, provides another source of food. The landscape facilitates the creation of level flooded fields along a hillside with a small piece of land. Notably, these geographical qualities were instrumental in the development of sushi, considering both are main ingredients of sushi. Cultural landscape: Buddhism dietary laws, preserved fish to fast food, culinary art. Uniquely, the Buddhism dietary laws in early Japan forbid individuals from eating mammals. To explain, this taboo contributed to the influence of resorting to fish as the predominant protein source. Additionally, the technique used to preserve fish later transformed into sushi shops. In fact, sushi became a popular snack food within the merchant city Edo, modern-day Tokyo, and began to spread rapidly throughout Japan. Another key aspect of cultural influence of sushi is the artistic nature of creating sushi. Markedly, in the minds of Japanese chefs, sushi is not just a culinary skill, but rather is an art form that requires attention to detail and precision to master. At the same time, the texture, color, and shape are all considered when creating sushi. Diffusion: disaster influences street food, industrialization. In 1657, there was a great fire that destroyed 2/3 of the city of Edo. At the same time, dining establishments only served tea and sake. As a result of the Great Fire, this influenced the phenomenon of a meal served outside the home, and Edo birthed its first restaurant. Additionally, advancements in transportation technology allowed fish to be transported to other areas within Japan, which allowed fresh sushi to be enjoyed across the region. Diffusion: contagious diffusion throughout Japan, relocation diffusion to the west. As advancements in technology continued, the diffusion of sushi quickly reached all of Japan. Through contagious diffusion, the popular dish that was only available in coastal areas was now in the rural regions of Japan. Likewise, after the Second World War, Japanese immigrants brought the idea of sushi to the United States. With this in mind, through relocation diffusion, Japanese Americans began to open sushi bars in the metropolitan areas, which influenced the growing popularity in the U.S. Distance decay. Refrigeration propels sushi. Inside-out roll and conveyor belt sushi. Before refrigeration and transportation technology, sushi remained authentic in its origins. However, as it became readily available throughout the world, each culture put their own spin on sushi. For example, the inside-out roll and conveyor belt sushi became a spectacle for consumers within the U.S. To explain, the seaweed wrap that originally kept the ingredients together on the outside was now inside the roll and the rice wrapped on the outside of the roll. Additionally, the unique floating boat on a river that flowed in front of your seat, displayed with colorful and tasty sushi, was an addition to the Japanese staple by the U.S. Distance decay continued. Western palate influences. Types of Western sushi. Another key aspect is the creation of new sushi rolls by chefs influenced through the Western palate. To explain, historically sushi contains raw fish which is foreign to many Westerners. As a result, sushi is now available with cooked ingredients to appeal to different taste palates. As an illustration, some of the types of Western sushi rolls include the rainbow roll, Philadelphia roll, California roll, dragon roll, and the Alaska roll, just to name a few. Conclusion. Regions set in motion a global commodity. Cultures shaped the emergence of sushi. Contagious and relocation diffusion of sushi. Changes of sushi from its point of origin. Consuming food is a basic necessity of life. Nevertheless, can evolve into something so spectacular the world will salivate and become consumed with desire. Interestingly, sushi has become one of the most loved and sought-after dishes of the world. Sushi contains a remarkable background originating in East Asia. Notably, this region discovered an innovative way of preserving raw fish that later morphed into a global commodity. To point out, food is an important aspect in the lives of people across the planet. In fact, discovering more about sushi allows an individual to develop a clearer perspective on the region of origin, cultural landscape, diffusion, and the transformation of cuisine through distance decay.